case also is just as not about Mike Brown. This is about police brutality. This is about racism. This is about racial profiling.
Now, my next guest triggered controversy last night after claiming to NBC News that the unrest in Ferguson is not just about Michael Brown, but rather about police brutality, racial profiling, and racism. Here to explain, Ferguson Democratic Committeewoman Patricia Bynes is with us. Committeewoman, were you there at the shooting?
Was I there at the shooting? I was not present for the shooting.
You're not there. So you don't know if this case is about police brutality, do you?
No, I do know that this case is about police brutality.
You do?
We're looking at a case that's dealing. Yes, I do.
You do?
We're talking about excessive force here.
So you don't believe?
No
wait,
way
you don't believe
that
it?
Let me finish. There is no way that a young man who is unarmed should have 2 shots in his head. That's a little excessive.
Let me educate you, Committeewoman.
Police brutality.
Let me educate you about the legal system in America. You can try to talk over me, but let me tell you, our system of justice, a person is innocent until proven guilty, and there are eyewitness reports tonight that the officer suffered severe facial injuries, had an orbital eye socket fracture, and that Michael Brown charged at him. What if that turns out to be true? What if that turns out to be true?
Oh, I'm sorry. I believe you cut my mic off because I intended to challenge you.
I said, what if that turns out to be true?
I didn't hear what you were saying.
I said if the officer has severe facial injuries, an orbital eye socket fracture, and eyewitnesses say that Michael Brown charged at him, you weren't there. What if that turns out to be true in our court system? Then that would mean you're wrong, doesn't it?
Well, we have lots of eyewitnesses that are saying something different.
That's right.
So
we have both sides.
That's what the courts are for.
So you don't know, do you? You don't know what happened. You don't know if this is about police brutality, do you?
I do know.
So you don't believe in a person being innocent until they're proven guilty?
Throughout the country that have. I didn't say that he's guilty, but we do have issues of police brutality in our community.
But you don't know if it's you don't know if there's police brutality in this case, do you?
You asked me that, and I said yes.
You know for a fact?
How many times are you going to ask me the question?
You're the judge, jury, and executioner here? We have issues of police brutality. How do you know?
No, that was the part that it seems that Officer Wilson played.
How do you know in this case there's police brutality when we haven't gotten all the facts? How do you know? If we don't have the facts, how do you know?
Because we have too many instances of police brutality when it comes to law enforcement and African Americans in our community.
You said this case. How do you know in this case?
Because there's no way that a young man who's unarmed should have 2 shots in his head and 4 in his body.
What if he was charging?
How I know.
If he was legally, let me educate you again. If he was charging at the police officer, by law, that would be defined as justifiable use of force. You're aware of that, right, Committeewoman?
I am very much aware of that, but there is no way that an unarmed man should have 2 shots in his head and 4 in his body.
Well,
so you keep wanting to talk over the facts. I think you need the education
If he was charging at the officer, that is by definition, and he was only hitting the arm, and if he kept charging after being hit in the arm, the officer would still have the right to defend himself by law. Is that not true, ma'am?
Well, the officer does have the right to defend himself, but 2 shots to the head, I think he's doing too much. I think a logical person can agree to that.
You don't know, and I don't know. But you're making claims. You should be a better leader for the community and wait till the facts come in. But I got to go. Juan Williams and Larry Elder next.